Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, my dear girls? Today, inshallah, I'm going to explain all the most important information in lesson 3 about Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, the first Rashidun Caliph. All the information in this presentation is what I need from you to study for any quiz or for the final exam. Try to read the book for more details. It will enrich your information about this great personality. Let us start now. Bismillah. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, the first Rashidun Caliph. First of all, we should say that he was the first Rashidun Caliph and he was the first man to accept Islam. Here we have two questions. Who was the first Rashidun Caliph and who was the first man to accept Islam? Next, he was the Prophet's best friend and neighbor. Also, after the Prophet ﷺ died, a group of the elders of Al-Ansar and the Al-Muhajirun appointed him Caliph. And this is the way how he was appointed or elected Caliph. Next one. Why he was appointed Caliph? This is a very important question. The way he became Caliph. Because the Prophet asked him to lead the prayers when he was sick. And that situation shows how much the Prophet trusted him. When Al-Ansar and the Al-Muhajirun sat together to discuss who's going to be the next leader after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, they remembered that situation. That situation only let them agree on Abu Bakr to be the first Caliph and not another one, because there were so many other people who deserved to be caliphs. Why exactly Abu Bakr? Because of such a situation. When the Prophet only trusted him to lead the prayers when the Prophet was still alive but sick. Even the Prophet himself prayed behind Abu Bakr and he was the Imam. That situation was the reason why Al-Ansar and Al-Muhajirun appointed only Abu Bakr to be the next Caliph just after the Prophet's death. Al-Ansar and Al-Muhajirun. Here we have two important questions. Who are Al-Ansar and who are Al-Muhajirun? Al-Ansar were the Muslims of Medina. The Prophet called them or give them the name Al-Ansar, which means the helpers, because they helped the Prophet ﷺ and the Muslims from Mecca. Al-Muhajirun were the Muslims of Mecca, the Muslims who made hijrah with the Prophet from Mecca and they came to live in Medina. These are Al-Ansar and Al-Muhajirun. How long was Abu Bakr Caliph, or how long did he guide the Ummah? He guided the Ummah, and when I say the Ummah, I mean all the Muslim people, for only 2 years, and then he died. But he could reunited the Ummah again and left it stronger to the next Caliph. What's the meaning of reunited the Ummah again? Because after the Prophet died, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were some people who tried to make the Ummah weaker. And they raised some problems or caused some problems, but Abu Bakr could face all this and united the Ummah again and left it stronger to the next Caliph. The most important section, his achievements, what he could do, the good things that he could do during these 2 years. First of all, preserving the Quran and the Sunnah. He started to collect all the texts of the Quran in one book. Also, he encouraged the people to follow the Sunnah, and the Sunnah is all what the Prophet ﷺ said or did. 2. Freedom of slaves. What's the meaning of freedom of slaves? Freedom of slaves means that he paid a lot of money to make all the Muslims, all the slaves who were Muslims, to take their freedom. Of course, you know that at that time the Quraysh people used it to own the people, used it to buy some people to be their servants at home or to keep their sheep or take care of their work, and with no money. They just owned them and they treated them very badly, especially when they became Muslims. Abu Bakr paid a lot of money to buy them and then he set them free. Baytul Mal, or the state of treasury for the collected zakat. In our Islam, Muslims or the rich Muslims should pay zakat to help the poor people. The first one to build a building to keep the collected zakat and then distribute this collected zakat among the poor Muslims was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. That was his achievement. Four, and the most important one, fighting the false prophets. When the Prophet ﷺ died, some people, some bad people, claimed, and they were liars of course, claimed that they were prophets sent from Allah. And they started to mislead the people, tell them bad things, and ask the people to follow them, in order to make them forget about Islam and the real message from Allah, which was the Quran. But Sayyidina Abu Bakr faced them, fought them, and stopped them in order not to lead the Ummah misled by them. And that's why this is a very important achievement of him. He fought the false prophets and stopped them. After he fought them, no one dared to say that I'm a prophet again, because all of us know that the final and the last prophet from Allah was Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So when I say who fought the false prophets, you should say Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh. Only Abu Bakr did this. Next and the last one, conquests. What's the meaning of conquests? We are going to clear now. He conquered some parts from the powerful Roman and Sassanid empires. What's the meaning of this? It means that he started to spread Islam outside the Arabian Peninsula in parts of the Byzantine and the Sassanid empires, which were two big empires, neighbors for the Arabian Peninsula. It means that he helped, or he started to spread Islam and make the Muslim state bigger and larger. Until now, we explained all the important points that will be needed in any quiz or any final exam about Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anh. You can read the student book for more details and to enrich your knowledge about such a great character. Thanks and goodbye till we meet again.